We have to get to 2,100 subscribers here on Tennessee Titans today, or else. I don't know what the or else is. That was the thinly veiled threat from my boss, Jack. So don't let me find out what that is, because it scares me a little bit. Hit that big red button and subscribe for free Titans videos all off season long, and they're all free, by the way. You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey here with the latest on the Tennessee Titans. We're going to begin with the quarterback situation. Ryan Tannehill, is he the guy in Tennessee? Well, GM Jon Robinson, down this week at the Senior Bowl with the rest of the NFL deciders, has backed Tannehill as his team's quarterback. Now, that's not necessarily a massive surprise because, what else is your GM going to say? Yeah, he killed us in the postseason. Not going to do that. But he hasn't delivered as needed in the playoffs. And the Titans' path, by the way, to moving him this year is via trade, which seems unlikely. Here's what Robinson had to say. I think Ryan is a leader. I think Ryan is tough. I think Ryan has made a lot of great plays for us. He is our quarterback. I don't know that there is a quarterback who stands in the pocket and looks down the barrel of a blitz and throws the ball as good as he does. I know he works extremely hard, loves his teammates, is competitive. He's played a lot of good football. To have a micro-evaluation over one game is not fair to any player. I think you have to look at the scope of the body of work and what he has done for this football team since he has been here. I agree with a lot of what Robinson said. So we will take a macro and micro look at Tannehill's time in Tennessee. Regular season versus playoffs. Now, it is a very small sample size. I want to acknowledge that right off the top, that this is not a truly necessarily valid data sample, and you're playing tougher opponents. But there is a stark difference in the regular season production from Ryan Tannehill versus the postseason production. The completion percentage drops by about 5%. That's a pretty big deal. The yards per attempt drops by a full yard. That's actually super massive. If you want to use Pro Football References adjusted yards per attempt, it's bordering on 1.5, 2. It's huge. Touchdown percentage is actually still pretty solid there for Tannehill on a smaller sample size, but the interception percentage goes in the wrong direction, and it's too close to even from that point of view. The sack percentage actually dips a little bit. Not great. Tannehill, objectively speaking, is a good QB. He is good at playing the quarterback position. But I think he falls in more of the Kirk Cousins category of, yes, he's good, and you could do so much worse at the position. But is he good enough? Does he give you enough of a margin for error, which is what the top quarterbacks do for you when it comes to winning a title? I'm not so sure. So what do you guys think? Is Ryan Tannehill the guy at the quarterback position? Let me know what you have to say in the comments section. Type in Y for yes or type in N for no. Let's talk about drafting a quarterback then. This idea floated out there by ESPN. They suggested Tennessee look at the quarterbacks at the Senior Bowl this week, which they will be doing. They'll be scouting all of the positions except for maybe running back. Maybe that's the one you don't go because, King Henry. But you can look at the day 3 guys anyway. There aren't the questions we've acknowledged about Tannehill taking the team further. The problem you have here is that this year's quarterback class, it's not great. And that means the not-so-great guys get pushed up even earlier given recent history. Tannehill, of course, right now is QB1 for Tennessee. That leaves exclusive rights free agent. He'll be back. That's what that means. Logan Woodside is QB2, who, I don't know, do we feel great if Woodside's got to play football games? I don't. Maybe he can go full Cooper Rush for you, go Gardner Minshew, but I wouldn't feel confident in him having to start a 5-game sample size. And, journeyman Kevin Hogan back there on a futures deal. So at minimum, I think you make a real argument about drafting somebody on late day 2, early day 3 to develop and groom behind Tannehill. So would you do that? Would you draft a QB this year? Type in 1 for yes, you would, or 0 for no, you would pass. Here are the 6 Senior Bowl QBs. I believe this is the national team list coached by the Jets coaching staff. There's Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati, who I like. I think there's some upside there. I don't want to spend a first-round pick on him, but developmental guy. It actually makes a lot of sense if you can get him round 2, round 3-ish for Tennessee. Kenny Pickett, who's going to go, I think, in round 1, so you're probably not going to get him. Carson Strong is an intriguing name. Big arm, big medical concerns about his knee. I think probably in the round 1 would have to take him there for Tennessee unless he flunks a medical, in which case, you don't want him. These are the American team quarterbacks coached by the Lions. Malik Willis, boom or bust. High upside if you want him. Probably got to take him in round 1, given where Tennessee is drafting this year. Sam Howell could be there in round 2, round 3. Again, all this could change. It's so early in the process, right? I like Sam Howell. Reminds me some of Baker Mayfield. I think will be a great backup. Is he your franchise guy? Better than Tannehill? I don't know. And then Bailey Zappi, undersized kid, decent enough arm, video game-esque production in the air raid style offense for Western Kentucky. Definitely, I think, a more of a day 3 guy. Could be a good backup pick for a team like Tennessee. Now, there are, of course, other QBs out there this year, guys not at the Senior Bowl. So I want you to name a QB who you want to draft. If there is one, let me know in the comments. Today's show is powered by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125. When you put down $100, they're going to give you an extra $125 for free. That's chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. You can bet on the Super Bowl. Man, we really could have had a Rams-Titans rematch in the Super Bowl. We didn't quite get there in the end. LA is a 4.5-point favorite over the upstart underdog Cincinnati Bengals. Bet on the NFL, college basketball, NBA, you name it. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is CHAT125. Let's discuss Harold Landry now on Tennessee Titans today. GM Jon Robinson saying all the correct things. We want to keep Harold Landry this offseason. He is coming off a massive breakout season. 12 sacks this year, part of a very talented front 7, we'll call it, for the Tennessee Titans. We're getting loose with some of those off-ball linebackers in terms of impact, but the front is good for Tennessee. Landry, by the way, I think is a prime franchise tag candidate for the Titans. Here's what Robinson had to say on Harold Landry speaking at the Senior Bowl this week. Quote, I think Harold wants to be with us. Not to speak for him. We're going to do everything we can to try and keep Harold, but we understand there's a lot of other things that need to go down as well. We have to plan and forecast how we are going to allocate salary cap resources. And that type of stuff includes paying A.J. Brown, paying Jeffrey Simmons, who are due for massive contracts as well, balancing the deals you've given out to big-time players like Tannehill, Derrick Henry. But I want to sign Harold Landry. He's too good to just lose him in free agency. So type me in the comments section if you agree with me. And if you want to re-sign Harold Landry, go do it right now. Landry this year, after a bit of a down 2020 from a sack production standpoint, although the pressure numbers are still really damn good, 12 sacks this past year. Even with the extra game, okay, we'll call it even 10. Double-digit sack guys, which is what Harold Landry has shown he is able to do and is not a liability against the run. Those guys get paid. Kawhi Leonard once said boardman get paid. Well, sackman get paid in the NFL. Now, I don't think Landry's going to get T.J. Watt, Joey Bosa type of money unless it's like a 6-year deal. DeMarcus Lawrence money? Maybe. I think Harold Landry's a better football player right now than Frank Clark. Maybe better than DeMarcus Lawrence. At minimum, you got to think he's going to get Trey Flowers money. That's $18 million for a guy who can't even get double-digit sacks. He's an 8.5 sack type of guy and has been bad. Now he's going to get cut so he falls to the list. $17 million, $18 is about the franchise tag cost. So if you're Harold Landry's camp and you're in his agent, you're not getting out of bed for less than $18 million per year. I would not be surprised if a 5-year, $20 million deal could be what Landry's team is asking for. So at minimum, you got to tag Harold Landry. You cannot allow him to leave in free agency. Frankly, I think he's your number one priority this offseason. You paid big money for Bud Dupree. He's not as good as Harold Landry. That might be an issue for the Titans to deal with, but Landry, I believe, has to be this team's number one priority in the offseason.